Let's check the latest news updates with Vishal.
Hello and welcome to Friends World TV. I'm your host, Vishal Venkatesh. Good to see you. And today, as usual, we'll be just going through what's made news, both in a global news context and a national news context. But of course, first, let's get to the headlines. New South Wales has officially extended COVID-19 coronavirus restrictions to restaurants, cafes, and clubs. Businesses in Victoria and in the tourism industry are likely to benefit from an extended government support set to be announced next week. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has officially announced this. A bushfire royal commission in Queensland has revealed that the new coronavirus response is affecting Queensland's fire hazard reduction strategy. Western Australia's economy should recover from the economic hit of COVID-19 quicker than the other states, thanks to a stronger than expected price of iron ore, according to latest business analysts. Buckingham Palace has confirmed that Princess Beatrice has married in a private ceremony with her grandmother and Queen Elizabeth II in attendance. And of course, they've all adhered to COVID-19 restrictions. Floods and landslides triggered by heavy monsoon rains have killed at least 221 people, unfortunately, across South Asia over the past month, the government says. A number of Indigenous policemen have been jailed for an acid attack on a graft investigator, Novel Baswedan. There is a new Vatican manual released by the Global Church, which officially directs bishops to report sexual abuse by priests to the police. There is a direct reporting scheme at hand. Now to the news in more detail. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian has announced COVID-19 restrictions introduced to pubs will be extended to restaurants, bars, cafes, and all types of clubs. The new restrictions will come into effect as of July the 24th, and Premier Berejiklian says that it will reduce pressure on health authorities, of course. And New South Wales Health has, as of now, has contacted 6,000 people while tracing the Crossroads Hotel incident. The restrictions include limited bookings to a maximum of 10 people, and events like weddings and other corporate-related events will also be limited to 150 people, and this is also subject to the 4 square meter rule. And funerals and places of worship will be limited to only 100 people. Businesses in Victoria and in the tourism industry are likely to benefit from the extended government support set to be announced next week, as announced by Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. Further income support targeted to help businesses are set to be announced sometime next week, and Scott Morrison says a targeted national program will be of particular benefit to businesses in Victoria and Melbourne. Mr. Morrison says that underemployment will likely continue to be a very major issue that the government has to deal with for a long time into the future, even post-COVID-19. The coronavirus pandemic response has impacted hazard reduction efforts in the lead up to Queensland's fire season, and this is according to the latest Bushfire Royal Commission in Queensland. The commissioner of this project, Mr. Leach, says that the COVID-19 response is actually consuming a lot of the Bushfire Agency resources. He says that a large air tanker is required. It needs to be on hand to help this fire season. And fire crews have to have a very strong short-term and long-term strategic response to tackle social distancing and other COVID-19 related restrictions, such as the 4 meter square rule. Western Australian economy should recover from the economic hit of COVID-19 quicker than other states, according to latest economic analysts. They say that the price of iron ore is currently stronger than expected, and because of this, and in taking into account factors like increasing demand from China and also the supply issues in Brazil, the iron ore price in Australia sits well above, not marginally, well above the forecasted expectations, and as of today, it's sitting at $112 per ton. The iron ore price has so far sat above $100 per ton in the 2020 and 2021 financial year, and for every US dollar or ton, the price sits above $65, and there is an $80 million benefit to the Western Australian budget bottom line. And increased dividends and wage growth in the mining sector could also be one of the positive outcomes out of this trend. Buckingham Palace has confirmed that Princess Beatrice has married in a private ceremony with her grandmother Queen Elizabeth II in attendance. Beatrice married real estate entrepreneur Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi on Friday morning local time at the Royal Chapel of All Saints at the Royal Lodge in Windsor. Princess Beatrice is the eldest daughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, and other close family members also attended this private ceremony, and of course they were in full compliance with the COVID-19 social distancing rules and guidelines. Floods and landslides triggered by heavy monsoon rains have killed at least 221 people across Southeast Asia over the past month alone, according to government officials. More than 1 million people, unfortunately, have been marooned in the country of Nepal, Bangladesh, and India, and hundreds of thousands have fled their homes for higher ground. Indian officials said that floods and landslides have killed another 16 people in the northeast and 8 people were killed in the building collapses in the city of Mumbai, raising the death toll in India alone to 101. Nepal reported at least 117 deaths over the past month, and Bangladesh has reported 3. An Indonesian court has sentenced 2 elite police officers to 18 months and 2 years of imprisonment for attacking senior anti-corruption investigators with acid in a verdict slammed by the human rights group and anti-graft activists. Novel Baswedan is a leading investigator at the Corruption Eradication Commission, known by its Indonesian abbreviation KPK. He was almost blinded when 2 men on a motorbike threw large quantities of acid at him as he left dawn prayers at a mosque back in April, a couple of years ago in 2017. The attack drew condemnation across Indonesia, which suffers from the endemic corruption. KPK is seen as one of the few effective institutions in the nation of more than 270 million people. It's frequently under legislative attack by various lawmakers with various interests who all want to reduce its ability in the power politics game. A panel of 3 judges in the North Jakarta District Court delivered the verdict after a trial that was held remotely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Vatican has told bishops around the world that they should report cases of clergy sex crimes to police even when they are not legally bound to do so. And this is its latest effort to compel church leaders to protect minors from predator priests. The manual has been issued in 6 languages and goes beyond what current Vatican policy dictates. Church authorities are directed to report suspected crimes to police even when they're not required to do so by law. It says that anonymous allegations and hearsay cannot be dismissed outright and could be the cause for investigations. Thank you for joining us this Sunday. I'll see you next week. Thank you.